Across the United States, the rental market is unraveling. In 2025 alone, more than 30 major cities watched rents plunge, some by over 13% in just a year. Apartments that once demanded $2,000 a month are now begging for tenants at $1,600, sometimes with 2 months free just to get someone in the door. Landlords who used to boast about endless wait lists are now drowning in emptiness, as over 1 million newly built units flood an already bloated market. From Austin to Las Vegas, yesterday's boomtowns are quickly transforming into today's barren towers. And this isn't a gentle correction. It's the most dramatic rental reversal the nation has seen in more than 10 years. Number 10. Charlotte, North Carolina. Charlotte was once the crown jewel of the Sun Belt, a city where rent climbed non-stop. Between 2020 and 2022, rental prices exploded more than 35%, turning calm suburban areas into cash machines for property owners. Units that had been $1,200 suddenly soared to $1,700 or more. Investors flocked in, convinced the growth would last forever. But in 2025, the facade cracked, and the fractures are widening. New data shows rents dropping nearly 4% year over year, with vacancy rates creeping towards 7%, the highest they've been in close to a decade. Apartment complexes that once bragged about waiting lists now flaunt move-in specials like warning flares. Free first months, slash deposits, flexible leases. The same incentives landlords once laughed at have returned in full force. Charlotte's downturn came from two things: too much construction and too much confidence. Developers unleashed a tsunami of high-end apartments, assuming tech workers and remote employees would keep pouring in. But the remote work boom became an escape hatch instead. Many of those renters realized they didn't need to stay. As demand cools and brand new towers sit half empty, landlords are scrambling. Small investors who stretched their budgets during the boom now struggle to cover rising mortgage payments as rents fall. Some are selling at a loss. Others are cutting prices to survive. Charlotte isn't collapsing like Detroit did long ago, but the caution signs are flashing bright red. The Queen City's throne is shaking, and property owners who thought they struck gold are learning how fast a hot market can bleed. Number 9. Jacksonville, Florida. Despite its sunshine, Jacksonville's rental market has turned icy cold. Once considered among Florida's hottest real estate stories, it's now a lesson in what happens when optimism outpaces reality. Rents are down nearly 5% year over year, a shocking reversal for a city where prices soared more than 35% between 2020 and 2022. The cause is a mix of oversupply and overconfidence. Developers raced to build when retirees and remote workers flooded in, and Jacksonville's skyline grew faster than its job base could support. Now thousands of new luxury apartments are coming online just as demand slows dramatically. The result? A full-blown renter's paradise. Free parking, free first month, free everything. These incentives are everywhere. Landlords slash rents or pile on perks to attract tenants. Large apartment companies are even renegotiating leases to stop tenants from leaving. In some areas, typical rents have dropped from $750 to $1,600, wiping out years of growth. But the sting is emotional as much as financial. Landlords who believed Florida was immune to downturns are now facing rising insurance costs, hurricane worries, and way too much supply. Jacksonville's slide highlights a broader truth. Florida's rental bubble is deflating quickly. Tampa and Orlando are wobbling, but Jacksonville, with its massive inventory and fading migration, is leading the downward spiral. Tenants are finally breathing easier, but landlords are staring at empty units and shrinking profit margins. Paradise didn't fade, but the gold rush did. Jacksonville proves that even the Sunshine State has a breaking point. Number 8. Nashville, Tennessee. For years, Nashville felt unstoppable. Its skyline was a forest of cranes, and landlords thrived on endless demand. But 2025 changed the rhythm, sharply. Average rent has fallen around 5%, the steepest decline the city has seen in more than 10 years. Nashville became a victim of its own hype. Between 2020 and 2023, billions flowed into suburban communities and downtown skyscrapers as investors banked on music, tourism, and tech growth. But when migration slowed and remote workers left, construction didn't. Today, more than 10,000 new apartments are flooding the market with too few renters to fill them. Vacancy rates have soared, and landlords are scrambling. 2 free months of rent used to seem excessive. Now it's common. Buildings that once boasted of year-long waitlists are handing out Starbucks cards just for touring. Behind the scenes, it's even worse. Owners with adjustable rate loans are watching payments spike while rent revenue dips. Some can't refinance. Defaults among smaller investors are rising quietly. Meanwhile, tenants who once fought for a place now negotiate aggressively or simply walk away. The power imbalance has completely reversed. Nashville's rapid rise is now an object lesson. No city can outrun basic economics forever. The same forces that built its meteoric ascent, mass construction, speculative buying, unchecked confidence, are dragging it back down. Nashville isn't finished, but for now, its housing market is playing a darker, more dissonant tune. Number 7, Louisville, Kentucky. Louisville wasn't expected to join any rental crisis rankings. For years, it was steady, affordable, and quietly reliable. But 2025 changed everything. Rents that once rose gently are now falling by more than 4%, and landlords across the metro are getting nervous. Buildings that filled effortlessly during the post-pandemic boom are now struggling just to keep half their units occupied. From 2021 to 2023, Louisville experienced its largest multifamily construction wave ever, nearly 6,000 new units. Developers assumed cheap land and migration from expensive states would keep demand high forever. That gamble aged poorly. By mid-2025, demand leveled off. Vacancies surged past 8%, and renters suddenly held all the leverage. Incentives like no deposits and 1 month free went from rare to routine. Inflation and high interest rates added fuel to the fire, crushing landlords who locked in expensive loans during the boom. Rents that once covered mortgages and upkeep no longer do. Many small investors are quietly listing their properties at losses, hoping to bail out before prices fall further. Even popular suburban spots such as Middletown and Jeffersontown are slowing down dramatically. For rent signs linger for weeks, and units that used to disappear in a single weekend sit empty for months. Louisville's crisis isn't loud enough to grab national headlines, but for the landlords living through it, it's a stealth disaster. What was once the city's greatest strength, stability, has morphed into troubling stagnation. Louisville isn't collapsing overnight. It's bleeding, slowly, quietly, and one vacant apartment at a time. Number 6, Riverside, California. Riverside long served as California's affordable escape route, an inland refuge from Los Angeles' suffocating rents. But in 2025, that image is collapsing. Rents have plunged nearly 5%, and landlords who once celebrated bidding wars now whisper about empty units and missed payments. Riverside's issue isn't just a cool-down, it's a shattered illusion. During the pandemic, remote workers and families rolled inland in search of space and affordability. The median rent skyrocketed from $1,700 in 2020 to almost $2,300 by 2023. Investors descended, convinced the boom had no ceiling. But as interest rates shot up and job growth slowed, that dream soured. Now neighborhoods once impossible to break into are lined with for lease signs. Renters have far too many options as upscale, freshly built apartments sit half empty, rooftop pools shimmering over empty courtyards. Developers vastly misjudge demand. Desperation now spreads. 1 month free has become 2, and deposits are shrinking. More troubling, California's larger affordability crisis has drained the pipeline of would-be renters. Instead of relocating inland, many simply leave the state entirely. Small landlords are panicking. Those who bought at inflated values during the frenzy are now crushed by rising taxes and climbing mortgage payments. Some are already defaulting. The irony is harsh. Riverside, once a sanctuary from coastal chaos, is now suffering the same fate. The Inland Empire's rental market is buckling under its own weight, and the next frontier investors once bragged about is dissolving like a mirage in the heat. Number 5, Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix once symbolized the pandemic housing boom, a desert metropolis reinvented by migration and explosive rental growth. Rents shot up more than 40% between 2020 and 2022, minting overnight real estate millionaires. But in 2025, the crash has arrived. Average rent is down 6%, and the drop is still accelerating. Initially, landlords brushed it off. But reality hit when vacancy rose above 9%, the highest since the Great Recession. Whole clusters of new apartments built in a speculative frenzy are now half full. Developers flooded the city with over 30,000 new units in just 3 years, far more than Phoenix could realistically absorb. And then the economy cooled. Job growth slowed, inflation surged, and migration tapered off. Suddenly, Phoenix's rental kingdom had nobody to crown. Rent specials are everywhere. 2 months free, free Wi-Fi, waived pet fees. Landlords are in crisis. Many borrowed heavily during the boom and now face rising loan resets with shrinking rental income. Some are defaulting, others begging banks for lifelines. Phoenix's story echoes 2008, a bubble inflated by overbuilding and blind optimism. This time it's rentals instead of mortgages, but the outcome feels familiar. The city built too fast for too few. Beneath the glamour of sunsets and palm-studded complexes, fear is spreading among landlords. Tenants renegotiate or walk away. Investors are realizing Phoenix wasn't too hot to fail, just too hot to last. In 2025, the desert isn't just cooling, it's cracking. And the mirage of endless profit has blown away like dust. Number 4, Denver, Colorado. Denver used to feel unbeatable, a magnet for tech workers, mountain lovers, and anyone seeking urban luxury with an outdoor lifestyle. But now the mile-high city is falling fast. In 2025, rents dropped almost 7%, and behind the gleaming windows of its luxury towers, landlords are quietly panicking. The slide began slowly, fewer renewals, more move-out notices. Then came the avalanche. More than 15,000 new units hit the market in under 2 years, the largest surge Denver has ever seen. At the same time, many remote workers who once flocked to Denver for its lifestyle moved on to cheaper cities like Boise or Kansas City. Vacancy spread quickly. Downtown towers that once commanded $2,800 a month now offer $500 move-in credits. Small landlords have slashed rents by $200, $300 just to stay competitive. The stillness in once busy buildings feels eerie. Denver's cost of living became its own enemy. Groceries, fuel, utilities, everything soared, leaving renters unwilling to keep paying top dollar. Investors who bought up properties during the pandemic are trapped with high purchase prices and falling rental income. Those can't-lose returns vanished overnight. Denver isn't collapsing in a single dramatic moment. It's deflating bit by bit. A city built on momentum is now choking on it. And landlords are learning that high altitude isn't the only thing that makes you lightheaded. Collapsing rents do too. Number 3, Austin, Texas. For years, Austin was the darling of the nation, a booming tech hub where rents skyrocketed more than 40% from 2020 to 2022. Tech companies expanded and landlords thrived. But 2025 has delivered a brutal reality check. Rents have fallen 13% from their pandemic peak, and vacancy rates have hit historic highs. Luxury high-rises that once charged $3,000 a month now dangle 2-month free deals. Investors who believed Austin's demand was limitless are learning the universal law of bubbles. What goes up must come down. The main culprit is oversupply, an avalanche of it. Developers added 25,000 new units in under 3 years, more than double what Austin typically builds. Everyone banked on endless tech hiring and remote work momentum. But when tech layoffs spread and office demand froze, those shiny new units had no renters lining up. Panic followed. Small landlords are slashing rents to survive. Big institutional players are quietly unloading properties at losses. In areas like East Austin, for-rent signs now outnumber Teslas. Locals are stunned. A city once synonymous with progress now feels paused, even unstable. And the worst isn't over. Analysts expect another 5 to 7% drop as more units finish construction. Landlords who borrowed aggressively during the low-rate boom are now suffocating under higher interest payments and reduced rent. Austin was supposed to be immune to downturns. Instead, it's proof that no city, no matter how young, hip, or tech-fueled, can escape economic gravity. The boom is over. The bust is center stage. Number 2, Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta felt invincible just a few years ago. From 2018 to 2022, it was the South's hottest rental market, a magnet for new residents, a playground for developers, and an ATM for nearly any landlord. By 2025, that image has shattered. Rents have plunged almost 14%, among the steepest drops in the country, draining profits at lightning speed. The decline began quietly. Renters who had been priced out during the boom finally gave up and left the city. Then came massive overbuilding, tens of thousands of new apartments, especially in Buckhead and Midtown, now all competing for fewer tenants. Vacancies ballooned, incentives multiplied. 1 free month became 2. Buildings offered discounted parking, utilities, even gym memberships just to attract renters. Atlanta's boom had been built on cheap money and endless confidence. But when interest rates soared and corporate relocations slowed, the numbers no longer added up. Small landlords who bought during the 2021 frenzy are underwater, forced to charge $400 to $600 less than last year just to avoid default. Even Atlanta's suburbs, places like Marietta and Alpharetta, are overwhelmed with supply, pushing rents down by 10% or more in certain communities. The narrative of the Southern Silicon Valley has collapsed under its own weight. Renters who once begged for apartments now pit landlords against one another to get the best deal. Atlanta's skyline still shines, but behind the reflective glass is a market in free fall. The city that once seemed unstoppable has slammed into a wall. The empire didn't collapse overnight, but the smoke is rising. Number 1, Las Vegas, Nevada. No city captures boom and bust cycles like Las Vegas, and 2025 marks another bust in full swing. Rents have fallen nearly 14% from their highs, erasing years of investor gains. A city once synonymous with easy profit is now haunted by empty units and frantic landlords. During the post-pandemic migration wave, Las Vegas was a magnet. Between 2020 and 2022, Californians flooded in, sending rents spiraling. A one-bedroom that cost $1,200 soared to $900. Developers rushed to build thousands of new units, and for a while the strategy paid off, until it didn't. Demand evaporated. Population growth slowed dramatically. Remote workers who once padded Vegas's rental market either returned home or moved somewhere even cheaper. Tourism softened, job creation weakened, and the rental demand vanished. Now, entire apartment communities sit half-empty. Vacancy hovers above 10%, and landlords are in full emergency mode. Billboards scream 2 months free, move in today, like neon distress calls. For every renter gained, another departs. Financially, landlords are hurting. Many bought during the frenzy using cheap loans, expecting perpetual rent growth. Now those loans are resetting at higher rates, while revenue shrinks. Some landlords are defaulting outright. Others are selling at steep losses. The city that once minted fortunes overnight is now wiping them out just as quickly. Las Vegas has always lived by risk, and this time property owners placed the wrong bet. The jackpot they envisioned has vanished, and the market is calling their bluff. Strip still glows, but outside its lights, the shine is fading fast. Empty pools, vacant apartments, slashed rents. This is the harsh morning after the housing high. Vegas has seen this movie before. And once again, the house isn't winning. And there you have it, the hidden pockets, the overlooked markets, and the places where your money still goes further than the headlines want you to believe. If this video opened your eyes or helped you rethink your next move, make sure to hit that like button so more people can actually see the truth behind the market. Don't forget to subscribe. I post new breakdowns every single week so you never get blindsided by what's really happening out there. Thanks for watching. Stay smart, stay prepared, and I'll see you in the next one.